this is Marshall Zhukov, and here we are together again on YouTube. Got the Steyr M95 out again. It is time to dig into it, get it all cleaned out. It's just gummed up with Cosmolene on the inside and the bolt. But I've already started, so I figured, hey, maybe some people might like to know how to take it down if they don't know. So there's a screw here and here. They are normal left loose screws. Remove those. I don't know if it's necessary. Nope, not necessary in this case anyways. Maybe it's a little bit loose, I'm not sure, but that's not holding it in place either. And things would be a lot easier if I had like 3 hands or something, but I don't have a little tripod deal set up either for the camera. To look above, let's see here. Removal of the handguard just slides forward. It's got a little bit of Cosmolene under that as well, which is good. It's a good preservative. The barrel here looks pretty good, like it's retained a nice bit of bluing. We'll see once that stuff gets taken off. I guess if you were going to keep it in a collection and never shoot it, it would be good to maybe leave this stuff, but once it starts being shot and the barrel heats up, it's going to cause it all to melt, so I'll just remove it. So, it doesn't look too bad under here, just more preservative, which is okay, it's a good thing. And looks like maybe I'll be able to read it better. That number may have been written in or penciled in or something. It doesn't look like the serial number that we have here, so I think it's a refurb M95, which isn't a big deal. But I couldn't make out a import mark anywhere on this. I don't know if it was an earlier import or what, but from what I can tell, I don't think there are any import marks on this. So I will get the action screws out here and remove the magwell, and we'll go from there. Stand by. Okay, both the action screws are removable, and then the assembly just pops right out. I don't think well, we'll see how well I can get in and clean that stuff, but I don't think it'll be necessary to take the whole thing apart. That would be somebody's own prerogative if they wanted to, but I think I'll just wipe it down the best I can for now. So here's a look at the underside of the receiver, the trigger group and all that stuff. The pin here will come out, so what I'll probably end up doing is putting these trigger pieces in my little bottle of mineral spirits with the rest of these little screws. Let them sit in there for a few and let it work to get the Cosmolene off it. But the bluing looks good on the underside. Not too bad. And then what I'll end up doing is just doing a quick mineral spirits wipe down on the stock. Mainly just in the groove where the barrel sits and on the handguard to get some of that loose Cosmolene that's just hanging out there out. So when it heats up, it'll just bleed less Cosmolene that way. Okay, so all the little parts, the trigger pieces and all that stuff, and the screws that I took out from the barrel bands here, these won't fit in there. That's just the size of the Gatorade bottle, and that's just some old mineral spirits, but the parts are in there, and let them sit, squish them around a bit, and after a little while, you know, however long, they should be pretty good, pretty clean, and then I'll just drain the mineral spirits out of there and just wipe them down, and they'll be good to go. So I'll be getting in here with a toothbrush probably. Let's see, I got one sitting around here somewhere. Something like this. It's been rather used, and then just wipe it down, I've got some of these paper towels. I'll probably try to get as much of the heavy stuff off the barrel and out of the stock as I can. Maybe make it a little less messy. And then I'll try to run something through the receiver here where the bolt goes, and actually I could disassemble the bolt and put some of those bolt parts in the mineral spirits bath as well. So these bolts are just a little bit tricky. It's not too bad. A little bit of practice and you'll be pretty much a pro at it. But the cocking piece, as the bolt is, after you take it out of the receiver and then just pop the front, if it doesn't already snap back into a normal resting position with it all the way with the bolt head against the bolt body here. The easiest way to do it is pull the cocking piece back like it's cocked, push a little safety tab up so it holds it, and just unscrew it. It unscrews, this pulls out forward, and that's it. Really easy. And if I had 3 hands I could do it and show it to you, live, but that's not possible. But we'll just drop this stuff in the firing pin. I'll need 2 hands for that too, but I'll take it all out and drop it in our bath here and let it sit for a few. So we can see here from the picture before, this piece was screwed in against this part of the bolt body here. It is under spring pressure, so just unscrew it lightly and be cognizant of that. And this stuff is all really gummed up, so, and this is a good option for any type of military surplus rifle that you get. This got Cosmolene on it. Get everything taken down, and then let it soak a little bit, and a few minutes later, occasionally shake it, and it'll be good. Okay, I just dumped everything out right here. We can see it's all still wet, so just dry it with a towel, and anything that's left over, wipe it off. Most of the stuff on there probably should just wipe off pretty easily. And we can see just a little bit of stuff on there, but it's all loosened up, and it'll wipe right off. So get everything all wiped off. Probably run a little brush down there with a patch on it or something, just to clean everything out that's inside of it. So in a few minutes we'll have the bolt put back together, and I'll show you the stock real quick. So a couple things to be cognizant of when you're reassembling the bolt. We put the firing pin in, and then the spring gets compressed and that little piece screws back onto the end of it. Well, I guess I can illustrate that. There it is right there. And then this will slide in and line up with the grooves inside, and I'll need 2 hands to do this. So once it gets started in here, right like that, when it gets started in here, we're going to put the extractor back in the side of the bolt, and then we're going to line it up with the rotating bolt head here and simultaneously push both back in. So it's been lined up with the grooves inside the bolt sleeve here. We are actually stuck at the moment, and I'll illustrate why. I have positioned this so it will do so you can be cognizant of this as well when you put it back together. This piece right here, the safety, sometimes it can get stuck like this. When it gets stuck like this, we can see that it won't be able to move when the firing pin goes past it. So we want to make sure it's all the way up in the up and out of the way in the in the fire position, like so. If it gets too far up, it won't go on. Too far down, you won't be able to use it or put the bolt in. So we can see the cutout here, and it's just perfect in there. Get some light in there, I hope. Yeah, we can see it like that. We can see it move. So when it lines up like that, that's perfect. Pop the bolt head in just like that, and we will screw the cocking piece back on and be good to go. One thing I would recommend though when doing this is oil this afterwards. It'll be a lot easier on your hands, or if you wear gloves, with your gloved hands. So So what we'll do is begin to screw the bolt head on, and we will pull this out and engage the safety so it holds it in position as we did for disassembly of the bolt. So when screwing this back on, you probably will have to hold the safety lever with your thumb so it doesn't get in the way. It is going to be under spring tension, but it starts easily, and then the firing pin pretty much ends flush with the back of the bolt knob. So you can only go on so far. You can't over tighten it. It will stop like a half a turn further than this, back it off a half a turn, and it's perfectly lined up, as we can see. So the bolt is now ready for action. I will get the stock going here. I'll put the rest of the parts back into the receiver, which is cleaned out now. It's all nice and clean, wiped down, and we can actually see the nice original bluing here on the under parts of the barrel. This whole part of the barrel was covered by the handguard with the preservative on it, so it actually did quite well, and we can see a distinct line here between the patinaed metal and the blued metal that was beneath the stock line. So here's a stock, a before shot. We can see how the Cosmolene's still in it. I'm going to use the toothbrush with some mineral spirits again and then wipe it right out. And maybe just give the whole stock a mineral spirits bath. Just a light rub down. You could do it with either a rag or a toothbrush, and pretty much it's just going to get any of the residual stuff off the outside of the stock. It's not going to damage the stock. Somebody at some point did a repair on it. I don't know if this is an Arsenal repair here, but we can see a little bit of a toe splice. We can see the line there, and we can also see that the finish, which is shiny up here, isn't as shiny down here. So I'm going to kind of try to avoid that just so it doesn't dry the wood out any more than it already is, and go from there. But just a quick rub down isn't going to hurt anything with mineral spirits. So the handguard is also in the same type of condition with all the Cosmolene still on it. So alright, we can see here that we got just about everything out of the stock, you know, that's was caked on there thick, really visible out of the barrel groove here in this stock. And it looks good. There's probably going to be no real way to get rid of every little bit of Cosmolene unless you go sit it out in the sun, sweat it. It'll still probably never all come out, but you'll still see signs of it. Over the years, it'll soak into the wood and stuff, and when it was applied, it was probably applied warm, which is kind of why it gave it a really uniform look. And Cosmolene melts at a pretty low temperature, so if you put it out in the sun, even on a 70-degree day, the sun hitting it directly is going to bleed some of that Cosmolene out of it. And just from sitting under this lamp is pretty warm. It's a halogen lamp. After a few minutes, we'll start to see some of the Cosmolene bleed out of it. But we can see the stock here, not really much of a change, just a wipe down, get any of the residual stuff off it, and that's about it for the stock. And now all I need to do is quickly clean out the magazine assembly and then put it all back together. Alright, everything has been put back together, has been reassembled. It looks pretty good. That website that on the first video that I provided a link to, and I guess I can put it in the description on this one as well, has some good information. These are kind of like Mosin's in so much as they have a rimmed case, and the headspace is determined off of the rim, so there's usually never a headspace problem with these or Mosin rifles. Now, they did say on the website that they did make 3 different lengths of bolt heads for these, a long, medium, and a short, basically, and that is how they would deal with any issues possibly that could arise from headspace. So it went back together perfect. This action has been in this stock for a long time. It's like it's molded right to it. And by that I mean the magazine assembly slid right down in here. We can see how nice of a tight fit it is right around the edges. And the same thing with the action in the stock. It fits really nice. All the grooves are machined out for the recoil lug that's in here, and it went back together very nice. So I'm excited to shoot this. I'm hoping to be able to get out and do a little bit of shooting with it this weekend, possibly tomorrow. And if I do, I'll definitely have a range report. I don't know if I can have a camera at the range I'm going to go to, but we shall see. Anyways, I'll be able to keep my targets. So, for now, Marshal Zhukov signing out.